Welcome back, everyone. Currently Saturday, April 25, 2026, and I'm doing another mapping stream, mapping for Map Labs Mega Mania, the newest Map Labs challenge. Here's the rules. Over here. Oops, bad. Time to choose. Yeah, that was my big struggle. Oops, sorry, my audio isn't picking up. There we go. I'm putting on the Portal Revolution soundtrack. I hope it's okay to use that. But I streamed Portal Revolution over a year ago. I thought I would have a good soundtrack for this. But anyways, Mega Mania. Challenge is to make a map about larger than normal structures. And my map is going to be about using a special kind of teleporter to change your scale relative to the environment to solve some puzzles. I thought that would be a creative way to reinterpret the theme. And I decided I'm going to go with that idea. I had a whole bunch of different ideas for this challenge, and I've been really struggling to pin down one idea, but I think that's the direction I want to go. There's always such an opportunity cost because there's so many different ways to take the theme. Like, I know I'm going to be second guessing, should I have done a map about the Dyson Sphere? Because that would have been cool. Locked in and became Mania. Exactly. So on our last stream, we did a little bit of prototyping. I made this basic block map where we tested out the idea of going from a teleporter into a mini teleporter. And it worked. And it worked well enough that I think I could make a map out of it. But today, I want to focus on... Oops. I want to focus in our maybe 2 hours that we have here on actually mapping out a map for what this room will actually look like now that the prototype is done. And I've been struggling a little bit because this concept isn't fully fleshed out compared with other concepts that I've mapped for. I don't have a paper map like I like to have a lot of times. I don't have a solid idea of the entire story, beginning, middle, and end. And so I am working with maybe not enough information. So, the struggle so far for me has been, what do I want this room to actually be? Obviously, it's inspired by Kleiner's lab from Half-Life 2. Turn the music down a little bit. Inspired by Kleiner's lab, but I want it to be a different location from Kleiner's lab. Hi, Gildan. Welcome. Gildan, by the way, quick tangent. I cannot wait to stream Mission Revenge. Mission Revenge just came out. Let me plug that a second, actually. It's a new add-on for Entropy 02 by Gildan, and I really want to stream it and give my thoughts. I'm going to put it off for now until the Map Labs is over. Wait, I don't see it on the workshop. It's probably because... Oh, there, I see. Because it was published as private, so it doesn't show up as the most recent add-on. Here we go. Yeah, so Mission Revenge is a brand new Easy 2 add-on by Gildan. It's like a full mini campaign with 2 different protagonists, and it's going to use some new experimental features from Map Base 8 that are only available on the upcoming branch of Easy 2. So I would recommend everybody check this out. Oop, greetings! Wow, that was loud. Hi, Spec Short Gaming. Welcome. Yeah, I would definitely recommend to check this out. I just ask, please don't give any spoilers to me because I really want to play it, and I'm going to have to wait until 15 days. 15 days for Map Labs. But after that, I will stream it. But yeah, I'm struggling with concepts. Because Kleiner's lab is in sort of a, I don't know, like a workshop. It's like an industrial area. It's hidden away. It's like abandoned. And that's kind of the environment I'm picturing for this. But I also want it to feel like it's a mega structure relative to the player, if that makes sense, which a normal mundane building is not. And I also want it to feel like a sciencey place, like some place that would have equipment lying around for scientists to use to make this teleporter. But I did have a little bit of inspiration. Like, on my trip, I visited a museum, and I thought, hey, what if this building used to be a museum? So then it would have more ornate, like, old architecture. this museum that I visited is probably more of an American style, but I imagine that this setting of this map that we're making is going to be in roughly the same region as City 17. Maybe it's City 14, maybe it's City 10. Like we don't know what city it is, but it's like it's the Half-Life 2 place probably. So the architecture is going to be a little different, but it'll probably look a lot like the Overwatch Nexus from Half-Life 2, because the Overwatch Nexus was either a museum or a bank or a government building, but they actually don't say for sure. So I want to use the Nexus as the style guide for what my map is going to look like. This will be in kind of like a side room where our rebels built a teleporter. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm feeling a little busy, just a little stressed. There's just so many things flying at me so quickly. Feels like there's never a chance to really sit down and recharge, you know? But I'm excited to do another Map Labs, because I've been looking forward to that for a while, and I really like this theme. How are you doing? How is everybody in chat? Oh. I think I need to turn my volume down a little bit, but thank you for the healing. Doing good? That's good. It's good to see you here. So where do I start? That's always a hard part. I know that the focal point of this map is going to be the teleporter. Start near the origin. We'll probably move it later. So we know we need a teleporter. Need a teleporter here. Did you see Portal 2 Community Edition? I did see that it was released. I feel a little bit ignorant. I'm playing the Portal Revolution soundtrack right now, but what does Portal 2 Community Edition do? What's the new features? I feel like I should know that, but I just never really looked too far into it. So I know we're gonna have a teleporter pad. That's pretty simple. I feel like I want it to face south. I don't know why. New BSP version and limits, new scripting language and entities. Okay, so it's as far as the scripting language and new entities goes, it sounds like map base, right? And the new BSP version and limits is a huge deal as well. So it's mostly a platform for mappers is what I'm getting. But I saw there was a suggestion to play Portal 2 Community Edition. Is there anything different about the base campaign itself, or is it mostly just for like map base, basically like a platform? So I know the focal point of my map is going to be a teleporter, and I can kind of use props to replicate Kleiner's teleporter, but I know that's not exactly what we are looking for. This should look different. It should be its own thing. Throw this together quick just for illustration. Onto these rails, right? I'll put this up here. Goes like there. That fits on that rail. Okay. Yeah. So this is what the teleporter looks like roughly. Here's the scaffold. Here's the platform. I'm going to want to change it up a little bit because there needs to be part of the teleporter in my map that you're going to have to go inside of to fix the thing. You can change the portal colors in game. Oh, that's kind of cool. At the moment, there's only Portal 2 campaign, but there's going to be a new something which will utilize the features. Okay. A new campaign? This is what your classic teleporter looks like. We want to do something a little bit different. Look up the Nova Prospect teleporter. I think that one uses more brushes. That might be more like what we're looking for. Yeah, like like this. This. Definitely want something that feels huge. It also can't be too huge because of limits on size of the map that we're making. I like the idea of it being like a long vertical tunnel. Kind of like this. And the teleporter platform. Kind of looks. It's actually simpler, and I remember the Nova Prospect teleporter has like the these conduits running up to it that act as the timer when you're defending it, right? We have a gist of what these things look like. What I want mine to look like, though. Okay, so welcome. Permanent Calhoun also got an update alongside the release of Mission Revenge, adding actual voiceover for Reaper. Yeah, you mentioned earlier maybe Lucio will actually like Mission Revenge. I wasn't expecting him to roast Terminate Calhoun as much as he did. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for lurking, Queso. I feel like there's concept art that could help us here. Might as well update or even remake Home Invasion. Oh, that'd be cool. I still need to go back to old maps and remake them. I think the interior of the teleporter needs to look kind of like the Citadel, right? Like there needs to be like a kind of platforms. So I'm thinking there needs to be like a bulk behind the teleporter that's gonna have like the mechanism, right? What is that gonna look like? I'm gonna keep these parts the same. Maybe keep this part. Those. That's clipping. That looks kind of cool. Extends it vertically, basically. Where is this going to be that's going to have like a long vertical shaft like that in a museum? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Something I'll need to think about. But I also don't want the platform to have to raise and lower for you to go through it, because that just sounds like that'll take a while. Maybe I don't want to be that tall. Maybe I don't want the rails either. Maybe I just want it to leave it, like, lowered. Maybe I want to replace this with something else that will stay on the ground. See what other props we have to work with. I want to use the combine generator prop. Generator? That. Props combine. Yeah, this one. Gotta be part of it. How they're powering this thing. There. I kind of wish I had done most of what I'm doing right now off of stream. This is going to be kind of awkward as I'm just fumbling around until I come up with a design that I like. I can start actually working on the geometry like I intend to. Let's save this truss texture for later, actually. Block of that over here. Like it will be useful. So I'm wondering about this teleporter apparatus that I'm going to build is, did the resistance scientists make it all themselves out of scraps, or did they use combine parts? That makes a big difference for how it's going to look. Probably be a combination. Maybe something combine that doesn't look combine at first glance. I like these portal textures a lot. Also consider making the texture scale smaller so that I can that'll look more natural when we scale it all down. Doesn't look like much, but let me cook. Like channels going around it. We're listening to the Portal Revolution soundtrack. This one is called Almost Laminar. Oh, I'm dead. That's how I feel. Hi, Meneth. Welcome. Dead. Exactly. I really don't want this thing that I'm making to be a big cube. So we'll have to add some shapes to it pretty soon. Hello. How's it going, Meneth? What are you up to? Procrastinating? Oh, I feel that. Very relatable. Hi, Boom Donuts. Welcome. Welcome to City 17. Yeah, it is supposed to kind of look like a miniature building. What I'm going for, but I'm not quite satisfied with the it just being a big block. You know, like what shape should this thing be? If this is going to be, we imagine that this is some big apparatus to create the portal. You should probably have something coming out of it on this end that's going to generate the portal, and maybe some kind of a shape to it as well. Like maybe it should be diamond shaped. Maybe it should be asymmetrical. Like I will make some cuts. 4x3 tower. It does kind of look like that. Excellence in Arctic construction, right? Sure, if I can, maybe a bad idea here. Bring these in with the vertex manipulation tool. First, let me fix the corners. I really need to get better at getting references, and I wanted to get references before I started this. But with no references, I don't even know what I'm making. We're Bob Rossing this. We're gonna end up with a teleporter of some kind. Worry about that side yet. Okay. Shapes. Have measured how far I was going with that. 15 units. Too subtle, I think. Bring it in more. Trapezoid shaped thing. Probably be something coming out of this part. It'll look kind of like what I'm kind of going for. I am completely freestyling here. I don't know exactly what I'm going to want this to look like. Maybe the interior will look more Citadel-like. Well, yeah, there is some combine construction going on. It's like modified or reused or something. Hmm. No, I should keep the pattern going, right? There's okay. I feel like there's probably a prop I could use here for what I'm looking for is like a gun, basically, like something that's going to generate the teleport, like a combine machine. Maybe it'd be like a. I look at props combine. Right, what are we gonna find there? This is a ball socket. Kind of like this, but oversized, right? This prop is interesting because it's so versatile. Like they use it for just about everything. Hold up. Totally reuse the mortar prop for what I'm going for here. Let me cook. It's almost perfectly if I bury the bottom part of it. I got a cool idea for a Portal 2 map called Escape Arbite. I want to see that. I would love to see more like Easy 2 and Portal crossovers, like from the Portal side of things, like doing Portal puzzles. That would be so cool. Escape work, yeah. I do regret the name. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, we were. It's obviously it's a reference to the Half-Life 2. Um, the leak, the concepts, that sort of thing. But it's a silly name. We should have recognized that that was a silly name. Or like, there's also like the fact that in the Easy 2 lore, right? The company is meant to be a German company, which I think that was kind of a blunder. Like we should have said Arbite is an American company because then it would make sense for them to use like a German word in a really silly way because that's something Like I've know of companies that literally have done that, so like that would be a lot more realistic, I think. Oops, you know, made sense that we wanted to reference the Borealis. Guys, I don't know what I'm making. Yeah. My whole thought process here is that I want to make something that will look pretty normal at regular scale, but then when you break down later, will be like a building that you get to climb into. This is my mega structure. It being a combined mortar actually kind of makes sense because maybe they reused the mortar for the teleporter itself. Like, because it's like a dark energy weapon. Maybe it's using exotic energy to create a wormhole or something. I'm just techno babbling, but I think it's plausible enough in the universe that something combined like this could be reused to make something uh, out of the ordinary. We're gonna need to have ways for the player to traverse between these gaps. I think I need you to get up to like the second one or something. Be like a power source. This is probably meant to be an optic for the mortar, but maybe I can have that be like an interface to connect the power instead. Like that. Hmm. I won't focus on that right now. I'll focus on the rest of the map. But I think this kind of makes sense to me. I made it too tall. Do something with a dark energy ball? Yeah. Maybe like even a scaled down version. Oh. I think I kind of want this to be the middle of the room. I had it in mind that this was going to be like off to the side, but actually should be the focal point of the room that you're in. I think I want to use carpet in this room because it's going to be like it used to be like an art gallery or an education type of room, like a classroom, because it's like a museum. But this part I think needs like a different material to support all this stuff. Like probably I'll use tile. I think the tiles just I think about like that the Half-Life 2 concept art of the Citadel where the interior is all tiled and it looks really creepy and like kind of back rooms. That was obviously that was like decades before that was a thing, but liminal space is the word I'm looking for. I'm off grid. There we go. Yeah, the Half-Life 2 concept art is very creepy. Hi, Danskart. Maybe these sort of vertical panels could be like almost like server racks, like something will get seated into these channels. I don't know, that might make more sense than just a block of wires. Who designed this? What kind of engineer made the block of bundles of wires? Make a lot of sense. Your entry going well? No, I'm very disorganized right now. But thanks for asking. But yeah, it's a little. I'm off to a rough start, I would say, but I'm still feeling optimistic about it overall. Tiles are- I think enough space for the scientists to work on it on either side. I think I want this to be in part of a room where there's like an elevation change, like maybe there'll be like a raised up portion too. This time I'm going to tell you that I'm also joining with friends. Joining the stream with friends or joining the challenge with friends. Oh, are you doing a collaboration? I want to do that. That sounds like so much fun. Map Labs. Ooh. That sounds like a really fun collaboration. Working on this with friends. I have done a few, like I've done a couple entries with other mappers. It could be challenging to have like shared vision, make sure like everybody's on the same page. I'm worried that this room is going to end up too big to do my the whole gimmick of the map with. We'll see. See how big of a room this ends up being. Bring in the sides a little bit, I think. A little bit more claustrophobic. We want the player to be able to walk through there, but we don't want them to have too much so that it feels empty. There's going to be like a table here or something. Do that next. I think this would be like a square, but this is, by the way, the soundtrack in the background is the Portal Revolution soundtrack. This one's called Concentrated Radiation. I might skip this one. This one's called Desired Conditions. Very confusing for me because it's my first group entry. Who's going to be in the group? If you don't mind my asking, is it like mappers that I would recognize? Of 2 units across. 120. Half is still kind of steep. Maybe like this. Ooh, Bogey and Cult. Okay, I'm really excited for your entry. Can you tell me what your entry is about? I know you're probably going to say it's a secret, but you can't blame me for being curious. You guessed right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Figures. Seems like it's taking up too much space. Wait, I'm gonna... Maybe this used to be like an exhibit for something, like testing something out. help that I'm in a Minecraft phase. Yeah, it's hard to manage time. There's always lots of other things you want to be doing too. I want carpet. Like a trim there. Maybe the player will have to gather things from around the room to put them on this table that's going to be either here or here. That will make the most sense. Another idea that I had today when I was thinking about this map is, what if you could actually pick up the mini teleporter and move it around? Like, what if it was on a little cart? Have you seen in Half-Life 2 Workshop the console with an eye patch? No, I haven't seen that. That sounds like a design that would go hard, though. We're going for, like, over-the-top beta-inspired stuff. About as big as I can justify the room being. You start with a teleporter and get a gadget later, like a gadget to move it? Maybe. I was thinking about a cart. I'll show what I was thinking of. Maximum dark, maximum gritty. Up slightly. Needs like a border around it. Carpet is kind of weirding me out. This definitely looks like it used to be filled with water, and I'm like, no. It's soggy carpet. I think I'm gonna switch to a different soundtrack. What soundtrack should I'm gonna pull up the Portal 2 soundtrack. Hey, wait a minute. What about does Disrepair have a soundtrack? No, Disbelief is the one I'm thinking of. It's probably a movie called Disbelief. Okay. Being Undertale fan game. Half-Life Disbelief? We'll do Portal 2. I think I'm gonna stick with the Portal 2 soundtrack for now. That's not quite what I want. The Portal 2 soundtrack is a classic. Bad. What's this one? I look for like a fence. I'm looking more for like a handrail. Handrail. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Rail? Railing? Thinking like one of those old-timey railing textures. Like, yeah, this one. I like this one. I use that in my Ravenhole map a lot. It's 1891. I guess that's when this place was made originally. This might look kind of... We'll go with this for now. We might want a higher resolution texture later on. Yeah, we probably want a higher resolution texture, actually. Okay. I'm working with this. Like something on the end here. Wonder what map is going to be after it's fully done. I wonder the same thing. This one is probably the most I've freestyled a map for a Map Labs. Honestly, I like to go in with a plan, and I'm kind of we're kind of just seeing where this goes. We have a good mechanic down, right? But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the progression of this map will be or what it's going to look like when it's done. How's everybody doing today? I know I've been kind of focused on the mapping so far. But what do you think about this map? You think there's something I should be approaching differently? You think it's gonna come out weird? Do you think it's good? What are the feelings right now? What material would these walls be made out of? Quite partial to brick. You're talking about my entry? I'm worried about the entry because the blockout is still not done. Yeah, we're pretty far in, and I just started basically because I didn't actually start this challenge until Thursday, so I lost about 5 days. So it is pretty concerning where we're at versus and I'm not sure if you're talking about your entry or my entry, but it is like the time is going really fast. Certainly I can see that. No, my entry, yeah. But you're saying the blockout isn't done. I'm not even doing a blockout. So like I'm with you. I feel you on that. These textures are used in Kleiner's lab. I think this is kind of the vibe that I'm going for. Free out. I think I'll use this texture. I've not finished blocking out either. It's all good. Do you guys do blockouts usually? I've done it both ways, and I still don't know. Like, you'd think by now I would have my process down, but I don't know which is better. Right now I'm going for no blockouts. I'm just going straight in. But for other entries, I've done like a detailed orange map where I went in. You have to go on a trip in the final 4 days. Oh, I feel you. I went on a trip when the challenge was announced. I was actually on vacation when the theme was announced. It's hard to schedule something like this around your real life. There's always just so many things going on. Pretty big room for what it is. I hope that doesn't bite me later. I do a mix. I've gotten super bogged down with detailing one room for no reason. Very stupid because it's gameplay heavy area that I'll have to change. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to know, like when inspiration strikes, you want to use that and focus on the thing that you want to make, but then you might end up needing to change it later. I don't really like this texture because it's got that repeating pattern there. One would probably look a little bit better. I don't know if it does. We'll worry about that in a minute. These textures are going to come in handy right now. Except... oh, wait a minute. That'll do. You want me to link you the Disbelief OST? Sure. If it's just the files, I probably won't download it while I'm on stream. But feel free to link it to me. I see. This is kind of like a flat card texture. Like, I don't think I can really use this. On YouTube. Oh yeah, yeah. I can definitely pull that up then. You're wondering, in Mission Revenge, there's 221 response system lines for one protagonist and 387 for the other. That's awesome. That's a lot. Thinking I wanted to line up these grooves with the trusses that are holding up the building, but that's going to be too many of them. This texture is kind of... I don't know if this was the right one to use. Better.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
What now?
Now. I hear you, Spark Shark Gaming. Oh, powering up. Thanks, Meneth. I knew that was going to be Meneth. There we go. know why I'm like hyper focusing on this truss right now. That doesn't even look like a good truss. I just realized how thin the beam is. Really what those look like, is it? They have like a pretty wide. Anyways. Can't wait to see you play Gildan's campaign. I can't wait either. I'm really looking forward to it. Also want to use this texture. This. That. We're gonna realize that this is flat. Probably will. Needs to be further away from where the player is standing for it to work. Maybe near the ceiling. I'm gonna have to lift this whole thing up, I think. It looks alright. Gonna duplicate this a few times. I'm gonna skip Ghost of Ratman. It always freaks me out. Called Haunted Panels. I'm gonna go to The Future Starts With You, Portal 2 soundtrack. There would be. I didn't measure that very well. A lot of very impressive technical stuff that Gildan did for the campaign, like the response system that I don't understand outside of the Zen Grenade talker files. Did you guys make custom, I said you guys, did Gildan make custom talker files for the Zen Grenades for the campaign? Because if so, that's really cool. Can't wait to see that. There's a lot of cool things you can do with that. Teach me to measure instead of eyeballing. No, I think that's good enough. Got him some stuff. That's cool. My second wall texture. We used a brick wall texture like this for the bottom part. Go above that. Find myself. What does Binder's Lab even look like? Concept art. We've got brick. We've got like a concrete brutalist stuff. The actual Binder's Lab. He did that texture. I have a second material though. I did use Zen recipes for survival map that unlocks after finishing. There's a survival map included in Mission Revenge because that's awesome. Pretty good thing to make Black Mesa style enemy spawns. That's super cool. Actually, I can't wait to play that. Thinking maybe I can like offset this a little bit. Wall. Add a little bit of depth. I need some windows for natural light. Now, the weird thing is, this is actually going to be the 3D skybox when all is said and done. So I can't use the 3D skybox here. I have to use the 2D skybox texture. I want to have like a vaulted ceiling in here. The best way to do that. I guess I'll use the arch tool. Be 784 units by like 24 units. A good arch material, probably a pretty basic like brick or concrete, right? Like this actually. They make an arch ceiling out of bricks. That doesn't really, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. This is reminding me that I don't know anything about architecture, which is probably my biggest issue here. There's 782 units by 1024 deep. $768. Probably 128 tall. Even just 64 tall. Yellow. 4 deep. Wall width 32. Number of sides, I think 6. All right. Very good at all. Add height 32. Increase the height. That looks a little bit better. Here we go. Measured that quite correctly. I didn't count for the wall width. Go off grid. So we do the math on that. Kind of what I'm looking for. I want to have like some big windows, but light in. Still the Portal 2 soundtrack. We're on the Friendly Faith plate. Perfect. Perfect fit. I don't like these trusses. I added them to add detail, but I feel like they should match the arc. Also worried that there's not going to be enough light coming in. The windows have to be here. Doesn't feel quite right. There should be like windows on a layer above this before. Oh. I want the light to be coming in, probably like from here. Here there'll be sunlight. The train station style is kind of what I was going for. Maybe I should have just made it steepled instead of trying to do an arch. Also use a decal for the window though. Could work. I think the next time I'm trying to just like map a room like this, I definitely want to have references. I don't usually map from references, but I think that would be a good habit to get into. This is kind of a struggle. And I don't think it should be. The materials just don't really... It's like colors clash too much. We'll work with those materials later. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Well, I don't like the clash between this material and this material. I can do another one kind of like that. Hmm. This is actually the one that needs to change. Oh, or maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not bad. Fine now. Get like a different window texture. All. Kind of want one that has a window but matches that tone. I like switching up the soundtrack right now. The Easy U soundtrack. Oh, maybe what I want is like this actually. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Any tones going on here? Hi, Comb Tank. Welcome. Welcome in. Doing some mapping for Map Labs Mega Mania. A good sunlight color. Yeah, I do want to have a little environment lighting in here. There we go. Box. Skybox. The glass texture. In fact, maybe we can make it a breakable surface just in case the player shoots it or something. I don't think the player is going to have a gun in this map, but I'm not sure yet. If it's there we go. Cutting out these windows just so that maybe I can make this a little bigger. Just copying this whole wall a couple times. Um, but I'm cutting out these windows so that we can get some sunlight coming in through the windows. Even though we're not going to be able to use a 3D skybox in this map. I may have messed up a little bit. Make the sky dark. I want to have a little bit of sunlight coming in just so that we can see the map. It would be pretty dark and gritty to have like a gloomy sky, you know? Have like a you know, like that, have like 2 beta, have a dark sky. I may have messed up my measurements here. That makes perfect. We have our windows. Environment. Sky should we actually pick for this? The When we listen to the Disbelief sound, realize that Anscart linked that player. Listen to the soundtrack of the mod Disbelief for Half-Life. They're looking for? Oh yeah, here we go. Guys. think I want a morning skybox one. I think that would look cool. I guess this is supposed to be evening, isn't it? Yeah, there isn't really a morning. That's okay. It only matters for the sun angle, and then I realized it's like, wait a minute, we don't know which way north is. It doesn't matter. Properties. Sky. There we are. A little bit too bright, even. I'll pick this. So brightness will be this. Tweak these values as we need. Yeah. Interesting that there's they scale down HDR brightness. Won't mess with that. Ideal pitch, it says, is negative 35, and angle is 0, 148, 0. See, that's not going to work for us because we need it to come through this window. I should have thought about that before I started mapping. Should have oriented the whole map, but we can just... Oh, wait, actually, it should be that. To rotate that a little bit because we want it to come in way that way. This is where the Hammer plus plus lighting preview is going to come in handy. Look at the lighting preview, do a bake, see where the light pattern is. The light comes in right about where the teleporter is. I think we need a slightly shallower angle. Negative 20. It illuminates a little bit further. I actually want it to be... If there's a way I can get the lighting to bounce a little bit more. Seems too steep. Right? It's too tight of a pattern. We need smoothing groups there. That looks about where I want the light to be. I want it to be a little bit more spread out. Change the sun spread angle. Okay, that didn't work the way I wanted it to at all. Looked very good, but that's kind of the idea that I was going for. I need to change the light map scales. Well, these should all be in a smoothing group together. And the light map scale, I will put it down to 4. As well as floor here. The ceiling should stay high, light map scale. I might try it out in game just to see what the lighting actually looks like. I know I shouldn't be too worried about lighting just yet, but we want to get the atmosphere just right. Preview our light map grid and see. I made the floors a higher light map scale, so they will have a higher resolution light map, so the light will look less blocky. Hits the floor. I think it's going to look a lot different in game, so we're going to actually try compiling this and try it out in game. We're listening to the Disbelief soundtrack, and this is really good. This is better than I remember. I like how atmospheric it is. One lab. It's pretty dark. Lighting does look a lot better in this version. We need some other sources of light, I think. Maybe some light rays coming from the windows. Yeah, not terrible with lighting. Lighting makes simple geometry look so much better. A few things here. I think I need a red light for that bright red light source coming out of the teleporter. I wonder if sprites will show up the skybox. Never questioned that before. Right? Subtle. Something very subtle. Small question, but what, in your opinion, was a segment in Half-Life games where you felt really excited only to feel empty? I don't know. I tend to like Half-Life games. I could say the ending of episode 2, but that'd be a little bit cheap. What was a section where I felt excited, but then I felt empty? There's parts of the original Half-Life that dragged a little bit. Like I'm thinking maybe like On a Rail. Like I overall liked On a Rail, but I could see where it would evoke that emotion in someone, like on a first playthrough. I don't know. What makes you ask? Like, is there a particular section that makes you feel that way? increase the sun spread angle a little bit. Okay. I need more light sources. I think I need a light from the ceiling coming down on the teleporter here, as well as there should be points of interest around the room that are lit up. Strider battle from episode 2. At first, killing the Strider with Strider Busters felt good, but it started getting repetitive. I don't agree, actually, because like when there's that moment at the end where you think you've won, and then they come over the radio and announce that there's like as many Striders coming in at one time as you have killed in total, like and the music kicks in. I remember that being like a standout moment in the game that really like hyped me up. I don't know if I empathize with that really. Uh, do cube map reflections work in the skybox? We're gonna learn so much about skyboxes with this map. I also think that I should probably do like a parallax corrected cube map. This. Didn't feel that way, especially when I saw in the bridge. You mean you thought that the battle was going to be bigger when you saw the bridge with all the combined forces? I don't know. I liked episode 2 a lot. Episode 2 is probably the Half-Life game that I've replayed the least. Not because I don't like it, but because it's like the end of the series. I feel like in order to get there, I have to play all the other ones first. Don't get me wrong, I love episode 2, but the White Forest battle didn't feel like the fate of Earth depends on it. I don't know. I disagree, but I also do know that they cut a lot of content from that fight. Like originally, the idea was going to be that it was like a capstone to the whole series. So you fight like every enemy from Half-Life 2, Secrets of the 3D Skybox, exactly. But it ended up being scaled down a lot because the player testers were frustrated. We need some lights. We're gonna need a lot of like tables and props and structures. You can be remastered. Yeah, I'm sure there have been maps like that. In fact, I can't think of a map that remasters the Strider fight from episode 2 that's in a Run Think Shoot Live or Map Labs. There must be one, right? You would expect that someone has made that map. This is the light I'm looking for. Play this one. Or if we get to hang this from some kind of fixture, that would help break up the room a little bit more too. From gameplay footage I saw from episode 2's development, the Strider area looked so good back then. Yeah, I know. It's easy for us to say, oh, they should have kept it the way it was, but I think when you have actual playtesters, things look a lot different, you know? They probably saw problems that we don't see. Mount this to a vent. That's not really what vents are for, but it would kind of make sense to break up the space with one. Seems like not how that would work. Pillar or something? Oh, I'm gonna use a vent. Unless the super portal was just bait distraction this whole time. I mean, you could interpret it that way with the race to the Borealis. That was their real objective. Regular texture. Looks kind of ridiculous. Maybe this was a bad idea. Good enough. That's way too low. What am I doing? Okay. Use the other prop that's raised up a little bit more. The fight ran poorly on PCs back then, or the foliage was too obstructive. I think it had more to do with just too many different mechanics in play. Like there's something frustrating about like roller mines and soldiers and hunters. I think there's a commentary note about it, but I don't remember. Go and look for that. Light spot. Drop this light. Light color might be a little too. With Hammer and Steam Workshop, I think now it's possible to do stuff in the White Forest battle. Yeah, I'm sure somebody could do that. A great idea for a map. In fact, I could even see an entire Map Labs being themed after that. I don't know if I would like that theme, actually. I'm changing my mind. Because if it were me, I wouldn't really want to recreate something that's already been made. I would feel like, oh, like, you know, this is like I'm not going to do it better than the original. But I think for a lot of mappers, that would be a cool challenge to be like, take this concept of a major battle and like do it over again, like do your version. I think that could be neat. Do some fake bounce lighting here. Light up the environment a little bit more. It's a little hack because, I mean, the radiosity already does bounce lighting, right? But if you want to have a more dramatic bounce light, you could just put a spot or a point light wherever the light hits. If I would recommend that method or not. Yeah, a little bit brighter. So this is where the teleporter will be, and then we'll have a mini teleporter somewhere in the room that will teleport you to. This entire room is going to end up being the skybox. To play with soundscapes too. Have you noticed your Twitch has a mature content warning lately? So I don't know about this stream. Usually I set it to have the content warning based on the game that's being played. So if I'm playing a mature rated game, I should have a mature content warning for mature rated games, basically. It's like it ads. Yeah. I haven't been paying attention to ad breaks this stream. But yeah, there probably will be ads. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, the content warning is on purpose, but I don't think that the mapping streams should have the mature content warning. I might have just left it on just to, be safe. But yeah, that's mostly just because of the rating of the games that I'm playing. There's no other mature content that'll happen on streams other than playing mature rated games. There's blood violence and things like that in games like Half-Life 2. I'm generally pretty happy with this so far. The reflections get kind of wonky because of those sprites. That. And the tiles are a little bit too reflective when you're in the darker part of the map. But that'll probably fix itself when we add more lights in. Okay, so we've got a long ways to go, and I've already spent 2 hours. I think at 6, I'm gonna call it for today. I know we haven't gotten very far. This is like just the very beginnings of the map, right? But at 6, I'm gonna call it, and we're gonna raid my friend Sniffy Leaf because she's finishing Alien Isolation today, and I definitely want to see that. So, where does the mini teleporter itself go? There's gonna need to be some doors into this room. I figure this is an exterior wall, so there probably won't be any doors here unless there's like a part of the building that's like lower than that. There could be. Hello, I'm late. Hi, Ellen. Welcome. You haven't missed a whole lot. I go very slow. But welcome in. I'm doing some mapping for the Map Labs Mega Mania challenge. It's a challenge about making a mega... You're probably aware of Map Labs already. Yeah, no, it's going well, just going a little slow. So one thing I can do to fill up the room right off the bat is place all of the Cleaner's lab props, because I know I'm going to need those. Workstations and tables and all the classic lab things, I'm also doing layout design for my entry. Nice. What's your entry going to be about? That fits pretty nicely. Okay, I'm liking where this is going so far. This might be too repetitive, but I won't worry about that right now. I used to have a version of this that had sprites and little lights for everything. I wish I could just copy that. I should really have like a prefab library, instance library. I don't do enough prep in between challenges. Rather than digging up whichever map I have that has that, I'm gonna redo it. Floating island, and there's a huge combine space station not far. Ooh, I want to make it like those abstract maps on the Gmod works. That sounds awesome. That's what I pictured for a map in this challenge, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Like I really like those surreal kind of abstract landscapes, but it sounds like yours is also going to be grounded because it could exist in the Half-Life universe. So no, I'm excited about that. Actually, let me try something. I think Shadow Walker 2 had what I'm describing there. Yeah, this one. Different prop than I was picturing, but that's kind of what I had in mind. Maybe do that. I'm changing my mind. I want to do it over. I want to use the Kleiner's Lab version. I think it looks. Music is kind of setting me on edge, kind of creeping me out. Good ambience, but it's very spooky. I feel like this would be a good soundtrack for like a creepypasta YouTube series. This one is distraction. Let's skip to disruption. Any of these decoration lights, do you know the issue that point lights being low when building cube maps? I do know that point lights show up as like sprites when you build cube maps. I think I've seen that before. But what do you mean by the issue? I guess I don't know what you're referring to. I'm digging how this side looks. I think another light like this one looks so much brighter than it's gonna look in game. I know it's like as bright as the sun, but in game it won't be that bright. Where we're gonna actually move the mini teleporter, so this side it up. I know. I will mount this to the truss. Truss right there, and that will there. Leaves ugly glows in cube maps. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. Not sure what to do about that in that situation. Desk. Table. Oh no, Hammer Plus Plus has crashed. No. We had surprisingly few hammer crashes today. See what the damage is. Okay, not too bad. I always press no. Sometimes I press no. I guess it depends on how much faith I have in the autosave. Sometimes I trust the autosave, sometimes I don't. A portal table? That's actually pretty cool. Gonna save that for later, I think. The surprise tool that will help us later. My worst case is getting 9 crashes in one day. Was there something in the map that made it crash more often than usual? I'm not trying to blame the map. I'm just curious why it crashed that much. What is this prop from? Okay, the problem with my strategy of taking assets from a bunch of different things and combining them all into one workspace is that I don't always know where the props came from. And this is a prop called Alchemy Table. I have no idea what this is. From a collectibles directory that has a Sita backpack in it. So that has to be Left 4 Dead, right? This is definitely Left 4 Dead. Okay. Anyways, getting off track here. I'm looking for like the typical silo like desk model. It is called a desk, right? 3D desk, that desk, that desk. Oh, control room desk. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Did this map have a gravity gun? I just realized I could like do a lot if everything in the map is something you can pick up with a gravity gun. I was gonna make this static, but I'm realizing I'm like, like I feel like there's a puzzle opportunity if you had to actually move the desk over and like stack everything by hand. Maybe. We'll consider it. Especially if you can move the mini teleporter. For now we'll make this static, but we'll -18. Oh wait, I wanted to flip it the other way. What things do we want on that desk? Gonna be a lot of physics props in here. Slide that on the desk, I think. No. Gotta fit in here somewhere. I'll put it over in the prop corner for now. Prop jail. Okay, I'm gonna pause on this for a second. Real quick. I want to try something a minute. Thing I haven't considered yet. I'm going back to the prototype. Going back. Back to the prototype. Oop, that's the wrong prototype. Back to the prototype. Can I make the mini teleporter movable? What would that entail? That's going to completely change the vibe of the map if I can do that. Basically, it's just a model and a brush, right? I mean, it's just the same as any of these. Difference is this one also has the teleporter destination. You parent a teleporter destination? I mean, you can parent a teleporter. Why not? Why wouldn't I be able to do this? Thinking. Order. Teleporter. Shadow. I will follow the map shadow. Speaker target will also be parented to that, although I gotta make sure once it actually activates that it unparents. We're cooking. Settle on the first idea. Yes, we're gonna do the first idea. And Beef Bacon, what I'm trying right now is I want to see. I went back into the prototype map because I want to see, can we physically pick up and move the mini teleporter and have it work with the system? Do you imagine if the mini teleporter itself is movable? I can have puzzles where you like put the teleporter somewhere in the room, use it to shrink yourself, do some objective, and then you go back and then you move it again, which sounds really cool. I'm gonna make this a physics override. I might want to make it like a fizz box with the prop just being like a prop that follows it. For now, we'll do this because we're experimenting, right? Teleporter prop. How do I make sure that I can pick this up? I haven't used a physics override in a while. A scale. Try it. Now I'm nervous though that I won't have time to come up with good enough puzzles. Like, what is the player actually going to do with the teleporter?
Bullshit. Don't be so sure of that.
Maybe I need the gravity gun to pick that up.
Gordon! Sorry, Freeman.
Drop that there. And, oh. Okay. The platform didn't seem to move exactly one-to-one with it. Try that again one more time.
Just knew it was gonna be one of those days.
It's because it did the little hop when it spawned. I avoid that. Maybe if I just set it as starts asleep.
Hey, it's Freeman. Let's follow him.
It doesn't seem like it moved. Like this thing.
Gordon!
Why did it slide to the right a little bit? That's tripping me up. Should be right on, spot on. Prop is. Did it like teleport the origin of the brush to the origin of the prop? Is that what it is? That's not. What if I, okay, so if I move origin here. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Wait. That makes sense. Becomes a rat map when you enter the teleport. Yeah, exactly. We're going to teleport from the regular teleporter to the mini teleporter.
Just knew it was gonna be one of those days.
Something happened.
Gordon!
What? Hmm. Wrong way. Ah, man, what have I done? Okay, I'm just gonna try this. Like, if I like there. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it follows the prop perfectly. Why? Is it rotating about the origin? Explain why it slid that way the first time. Something funky going on with the logic measure movement. I need to get to the bottom of it. I have an idea. This will work. Because I'm measuring the movement of the prop and applying that to the brush. The brush and the prop don't have their origins in the same spot. All I gotta do is just make a new brush. What was that? This can apply when I'm redoing this logic later. I think all of the physics props should have a copy of their brush in the 3D skybox, and then that's where the movement should follow from. It'll probably work better.
Seems to me like things are getting worse, not better.
Yeah, see, that worked. Okay. Now we're talking.
Gordon!
Basically, I need to come up with a few different objectives for the player to do at a small size. They can move the teleporter around. This over here. Go in. Here. Perfect. That's gonna be awesome. I'm thinking about attaching it to like a cart or something, so it's not easy to just like throw it anywhere. You'd only be able to move it to like certain spots. If I change the orientation of the teleporter like that, what happens to... Wait, what actually happened to me? Oh no, I'm sideways. What? Oh no. Not good. You see, if I can, I'm not very good with physics constraints, but I think there's one called keep upright. I think I want to just do that. I was gonna end up like that cat, exactly. Regular limit. I don't know. Has to be no clip speed 15. Oh, to get over there faster. Thanks, Sam. You're right. Like I've never used no clip speed. I didn't know that was a command. No clip speed 15. like. That's really useful, thank you.
Looks to me like things are getting worse, not better.
There's first time for everything.
That didn't seem to work. 6, keep upright. To enable it. Start, activate. On, turn on.
Gordon!
Ah,
I don't feel
there we go. Okay.
Not required.
Not following me.
Whatever you say.
I'm gonna set this to a much higher value. I want this to basically always stay upright. The player enters the teleporter and it's not upright.
It's me like things are getting worse, not better.
Don't be so sure of that.
There we go.
Gordon!
Perfect. No clip speed. 30. No clip. Yoom. Yoom. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, so now we have a precedent of being able to, like, do that.
All over.
I'm gonna look back at my map. So what have we done this stream? I feel like my progress is minuscule. Okay, so I know that this is what the room is gonna look like. We've got our teleporter apparatus. We have a table. We're gonna have a mini teleporter in here somewhere. We're gonna need to move the mini teleporter over the table, stack some stuff to get into this track. Then somehow I'm gonna have to add a way to get from this track up to the next one. And there's gonna be some kind of objective involving the power source in here. We haven't worked on that yet. I know what I want from this map, but our progress is just barely getting started now. So I really need to pick up the pace before we have 15 days left. 15 days is not a long time for a challenge like this. I'm gonna need to make sure to put some time towards it every day, and I'll probably need to down scope a little bit too. Like I really wanted to add more stuff, like add an intro section to the map before you get to this room, or add like a boss fight, or add a whole second act, and none of that is going to happen. So we can be pretty confident about that. But this was my first steps towards the map. We have an idea, we have a room, we know what the objective is going to be, and I'm now working away at it. I know this has been a shorter stream, but I think I want to wrap up stream here pretty quick so I can do a little bit more off stream and yeah, get ready for the rest of my day. But I will be back with more streams. What would a boss fight even look like in this map? I want to have a giant head crab. I don't know. I don't know, like, I'm not ruling it out, but we'll see where that goes. That would be kind of fun. But yeah, I know this probably seems like an extra short stream. Sorry about the late start, but I'll be back with more streams probably this Thursday and Saturday doing more mapping. Giant head crab would be hilarious. My thought is to use Antland Guard NPC entity, like the entity for it, but then like scale up the model on the head crab. But we'll see. Again, like it's taking me a lot of time to do just the basics, and we're gonna run out of time pretty fast. So we'll see how far I can get with that. In the meantime, let's head over to Sniffy Leaf's channel and see how Alien Isolation is going. But I hope you guys enjoyed this brief mapping stream. I'm going to continue at it. Feel free to leave any feedback you have in my Discord server or any ideas. I'd really appreciate it. And hope you all have a great rest of your day. Give Sniffy Leaf your best. Sniffy Leaf. Pause the soundtrack. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.